Number 10. Kelly Clarkson. The singer got an absurd amount of criticism from Katie Hopkins, an English television personality who had proven time and time again that some people will go to extreme measures to tell women that being fat is some kind of moral failing and the result of laziness. But she really took it too far on her own television show, where she gains and loses about 18 kilograms just to show you how easy it is. She told Entertainment Tonight, quote, "Kelly Clarkson is now a chunky monkey. If we're putting it kindly, she does look like she's eaten her backup singers." Hopkins went on to say that Kelly needs to get out there with her stroller and do some pushing and get some of that weight off. But Clarkson's response was amazing. When Heat magazine told her about the tweets, she was puzzled. Quote, "I don't have a clue what you're talking about. Someone tweeted something about me?" And once she was actually shown the comments, she simply said, "Oh, and she's tweeted something nasty about me. That's because she doesn't know me. I'm awesome. It doesn't bother me. It's a free world, say what you will." There's literally no better way to make it clear that you're confident in your own skin. Number 9. Iskra Lawrence. 2016 was definitely a great year for Iskra Lawrence's career. The 28-year-old British fashion star rose quickly to fame in the fashion industry after American Eagle chose her as one of its models. She has also made a name for herself by promoting body positivity on her own social media accounts while making it a priority to never retouch her images. Throughout all of her success though, Iskra has worked to keep her message about body positivity relatively same for her followers. She will often post pictures online showing off her curves unretouched so others can also find inspiration in celebrating their own body shapes. But that has got her a lot of hate on the internet for being both plus size and a model. In response to an Instagram commenter who tried to shame her, she wrote, quote, "I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. This is for anyone who has ever been called fat. Thanks for the inspirational words." She captioned the photo where she was lying down surrounded by potato chips and snacks. She also added a video shot in slow motion featuring her eating a chip, then put up the middle finger and wrote that she's actually not rude, but she wanted to hit back at the online trolls. Number 8. Jennifer Lawrence. She is one of the highest paid actresses in the world, and it's well known that she's probably one of the most famous. We all know she's a bit of a workaholic too, and has certainly been kept very busy since finding fame as Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games. But with worldwide fame and success, unfortunately, comes worldwide criticism of weight, especially for women. But according to the actress, she was actually body shamed long before she became a household name. In fact, she admitted to Harper's Bazaar that people first started calling her fat from a very young age, all the way at the beginning of her career. Quote, "It was just the kind of S that actresses have to go through. Somebody told me I was fat, that I was going to get fired if I didn't lose a certain amount of weight. They brought in pictures of me where I was basically naked and told me to use them as motivation for my diet. It was just that." She said at the time it really hurt, but she chose not to let it get her down. She added that she'll never let it happen to her again, and that if anybody ever tries to whisper the word diet, she would tell them to go F themselves. Number 6. Melissa McCarthy. She's had an amazing career so far. She's been in Bridesmaids and had some of the best comedic moments on Saturday Night Live. But McCarthy has often spoken about the body shaming she has experienced throughout her career. In an interview with InStyle, the 51-year-old comedic actress brought up one particular occasion where her appearance has been scrutinized by male journalists. Quote, "He kept asking, 'Are you shocked that you actually work in this business at your tremendous size?'" The actress said that she refused to dignify the interviewer with a response, but insisted that it actually happens all the time. In fact, one especially terrible reviewer called her tractor-sized and, quote, "a gimmick comedian who has devoted her short career to being obese and obnoxious with equal success," which is ironic because at the time she was the second highest paid actress in the world. McCarthy responded to the comments and told the New York Times that she feels really bad for someone who is swimming in so much hate. She just thought that's someone who's in a really bad spot, whereas she's in a really happy spot, which makes sense because a lot of the negative comments are just projections.
At number 5 we have English actor Sam Claflin. In 2017, Sam spoke with the Sydney Morning Herald that he was struggling with major self-confidence and body image issues while he worked in the film industry. He reminisced about one particular time when he was doing a job and someone forced him to pull his shirt up. They then began grabbing his body, telling him he needed to lose weight. In another instance, Sam recalled being slapped like a piece of meat. To summarize his his overall feelings about the issue, Sam stated, "I'm not saying it's anywhere near as bad as what women go through, but I, as an actor approaching each job, am insecure, especially when I have to take my top off in it. I get really worked up to the point where I spend hours and hours in the gym and not eating for weeks to achieve what I think they're going for." Sam continued by adding that the pressure to maintain a muscular and slim physique portrayed an unrealistic body image that is practically unobtainable. In Sam's words, this achievement is, quote, anything but normal.
Number 4. BB Rexa. Unfortunately for celebrities, they often have to learn the hard way that you don't just find body shamers in the depths of the internet, but sometimes in the designers that are supposed to be dressing you up and making you feel spectacular. Back in 2019, the singer had to call out body shaming designers who refused to dress her for the Grammys because she was apparently too big for designer clothes, which is ridiculous. While she was disappointed, Rexa defiantly explained, quote, "If a size 6 to 8 is too big, then I don't know what to tell you. Then I don't want to wear your effing dresses, cause that's crazy. You're saying that all the women in the world that are size 8 and up are not beautiful, and they cannot wear your dresses." The same year, she also fired back at body shamers on Twitter, writing, quote, "To all the people tweeting mean things about me and my weight, you just want a response, and you will not get it. Unless you are completely perfect, you have no effing right to talk about anybody else's body." And she added that she does not care about what people think about her weight. She only cares about what she thinks about her own weight.
Number 3. Carrie Fisher. Even when you are reprising an older version of a character you already played 30 years ago, some people in the industry still only care about how you look. Star Wars actress Carrie Fisher was pressured into losing 35 pounds in order to reprise her iconic role as Princess Leia in Star Wars The Force Awakens. She told Good Housekeeping, quote, "Nothing changes. It's an appearance-driven thing. I'm in a business where the only thing that matters is weight and appearance. That is so messed up. They might as well say get younger because that's how easy it is. It doesn't matter how great of an actress you are, doesn't matter if you played the role iconically when you were younger. Hollywood is Hollywood. Maybe it needs to change. I don't know."
Number 2. Lady Gaga. If anyone knows what it's like to constantly have your body scrutinized by the public, it's Lady Gaga. One of the times she had to deal with it was back in 2013 when a random Twitter user opted to fat shame her, and in response she just posted a selfie that featured her amazing thighs and captioned the photo "curvy and proud" with a pig emoji. It's definitely one of the simplest things you can do to show the haters that you just don't care. She also dealt with massive amounts of criticism in 2012 after posting some semi-nude photos of herself on her website, revealing that she has struggled with and Then it happened again in 2017 after her Super Bowl performance, where the singer wore bodysuits and a tummy-bearing crop top from Versace. The haters were livid that she had a bit of a belly while dancing around and giving the performance of her lifetime. One tweet even said, quote, "All of Lady Gaga's female dancers were fat. Pretty sure it's to make her look thinner." And Gaga responded on Instagram saying that she heard her body is a topic of conversation. So she wanted to say that she's proud of her body and you should be proud of yours too. She told women, quote, "Be you and be relentlessly you." And coming in at number 1, Tyra Banks. When it comes to shutting down fat shamers, Tyra Banks is basically the queen. 15 years ago, we witnessed an iconic moment in television history, the day Tyra Banks told everyone to kiss it. That clip has since gone viral, and it starts with a supermodel walking into a taping of her talk show, focused on addressing photographs that had surfaced of her on the beach. In the paparazzi photos, the star was standing on the shore in a one-piece swimsuit, unaware that her figure would soon be on the front cover of every tabloid in America, under the headlines that were making fun of her weight, like Tyra Banks. But amid the intense scrutiny, Banks wore the same bathing suit on the set of her show and looked into the camera and delivered a now famous monologue. Quote, "I love my mama, she has helped me be a strong woman so I can overcome these kinds of attacks. But if I had lower self-esteem, I would probably be starving myself right now. So I have something to say to all of you that have something nasty to say about me or other women who are built like me." She then tells the haters to kiss it. Such an iconic moment, probably the best clapback to date.
At number 8, we have Friends star Jennifer Aniston, who told Rolling Stone back in 1996 that her agent informed her to slim down to conform to Hollywood's It List. When Jennifer recalled her experience of needing to make it in Hollywood, she described the occurrence as such. "My agent gave it to me straight. The disgusting thing of Hollywood, I wasn't getting lots of jobs because I was too heavy. Jennifer was reported to have lost an entirety of 30 pounds before her audition for the hit sitcom Friends, adding that she never believed she would have been cast as main character Rachel Green if she hadn't taken on the decision to lose weight as suggested.
Number 7. Ashley Graham. She was the first ever plus-size model to appear on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue back in 2016. But with all that recognition and of course stunning beauty to match, Ashley has also received a barrage of hate comments online, and 99% of them being fatphobic. Most of these people upset at the model claim that featuring her body is somehow glorifying bad health. In fact, one of her haters was Cheryl Tiegs, a former American supermodel who told E! That featuring plus-size models on the cover of magazines promotes an unhealthy lifestyle. This seems to be the main way that plus-size models get hate. But Ashley was very classy about the whole thing, and she had the best response. She told E! quote, "Cheryl Tiegs may have said what she said and it may have hurt a lot of people's feelings, but my skin is so thick, I kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, oh whatever, another one of these ladies," which just proves that Cheryl's comments were nothing new and probably something Ashley has heard countless times. She also said that we really need to change the industry because many other women have that same negative mindset.
Number 5. Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill said in an interview with Men's Health magazine, when he auditioned to play James Bond in a film, the director told him he was too chubby, quote unquote, for the role. To audition, Cavill said he had to walk out with just a towel on, saying, quote, "I remember the director, Martin Campbell, saying, 'Looking a little chubby there, Henry,' end quote," which screw you, dude, that's kind of rude, what the hell? But Cavill said he was following a poor diet at the time, and overall, the director's comment made him rethink his physical health and how he eats. "I don't know how to train for a diet," he told the publication. Continuing, "And I'm glad Martin said something because I respond well to truth. It helps me get better." Again, it's great to see an actor take these things in a positive way, but it just goes to show the tough skin actors are required to have when they're in Hollywood.
At number 4, we have the I Feel Pretty leading actress and comedian Amy Schumer. Amy has been extremely vocal about being confident in her own body. Despite this, her outspoken ways have not excluded her from being a victim of body shaming, specifically while she was filming her 2015 hit movie Trainwreck. Amy broke down the criticism she was presented with from the movie's producers during a Jonathan Ross talk show appearance in the UK. During this, she explained, "It was explained to me before I did that movie Trainwreck that if you weighed over 140 pounds as a woman in Hollywood, if you're on the screen, it'll hurt people's eyes." Amy continued her sit down by going over the details of how it was hinted that those same people nearly wanted her to believe it was initially her idea to lose weight, rather than just deal it realistically. Unfortunately, Amy eventually caved into the pressure, not sure what other options were available for her. In regards to this, the star detailed, "I lost some weight to do that, but never again." Thankfully, the whole ordeal was a learning experience that didn't send the actress-comedian on a downward spiral in an unhealthy direction from the pressures of Hollywood's manipulations and obsession with being underweight.
Number 3. Kim Kardashian. Let's be honest, the star has been body shamed for years, from her plastic surgery to her post-pregnancy body that made headlines and was memed like crazy, with people comparing her to a whale. But even though some people feel like Kim has always had the desirable body type, she never really got away from the fat shaming that came with public life. You would think that after years in the spotlight she would be used to it, but Kim opened up to the We Are Supported By podcast and said that the comments about her weight during her pregnancy hurt so much, but her candidness resonated with a lot of people. She started by saying, quote, "It killed my self-esteem. I would sit at home and cry all the time," which just goes to show you how harsh criticism can be. But she has since wrote on her website that she is proud of herself and her body. Quote, "I am empowered by my body. I am empowered by my sexuality. I'm empowered by feeling comfortable in my skin. I'm empowered by showing the world my flaws and not being afraid of what anyone is going to say about me. And I hope that through this platform I have been given, I can encourage the same empowerment for girls and women all over the world," which is a great way to see that she's actually overcome all the negativity.
At number 2, we have rising Euphoria star Jacob Elordi. His role as Nate Jacobs is considered to be his most popular, alongside his leading role and reprisal for Noah Flynn in Netflix's original franchise, The Kissing Booth. When the Australian native sat down with Men's Health magazine in 2020, Jacob admitted that the fitness routine for TKB resulted in him keeping himself busy in the gym twice a day for the full 7 days a week. Quote, "I trained extensively for the first film because it said it in the script. I was so terribly nervous that I wouldn't be what the script wanted me to be." And according to Men's Health, the comments and suggestions surrounding Jacob's physical appearance forced him into a a dark corner of feeling like fans were solely focused on his looks and not the work he put into acting out his roles. He described being bothered by everyone's need to talk about his body once he was thrown into the world of being in the spotlight at a young age. Jacob also opened up about his decision to get smaller for his HBO role in Euphoria. Discussed his reconsideration of how he looks at his body and not to make the same mistake of training to prepare for the Kissing Booth sequel. In short, he said the first film was all about sculpting and making sure I had this figure that I thought the character needed. Now, it's much more functional as opposed to actual aesthetics. At number 1, we have probably one of the most extreme celebrity stories of being forced to drop pounds to fit Hollywood's expectations. For this, we have a late icon by the name of Judy Garland, who was an actress and singer in her time. Despite her situation not emerging years and years later, Judy faced quite harrowing conditions throughout her career. Her suffering reportedly started at just about 14 years old when she successfully role in her first featured film, a college football-inspired musical called Pigskin Parade. There were claims made that while Judy was filming her scenes, MGM referred to her as a quote, fat little pig with pigtails. Of course, back in 1936, the contracts for studios were outrageous, and producers practically had endless control over their actors. So what did they do with her? Well, they forced Judy to partake in her first diet, where apparently food was literally being ripped out of her young hand. The next few years showed no signs of slowing down either. When Judy was 18, she landed her most prominent role in The Wizard of Oz. And where things seemed great on screen, they were anything but off. It was also revealed at one point that for this feature, Judy had no choice but to go on yet another diet of consuming only coffee and chicken soup, as well as needing to smoke 80 cigarettes a day to curb her appetite. Even worse, as if it could get any worse, Judy was reported fed a pill typically made to prevent her from feeling hungry. The horrific treatment Judy suffered at the hands of her production company went on to damage her health lifelong, as she suffered from eating disorders throughout the remainder of it.
Number 9. Chris Pratt. Before Chris Pratt landed the role of Scott Hatterberg in Moneyball, he says he was told he had to lose weight. While he did actually go through with the weight loss so that he would be cast in the film, he says he ended up doing it in a pretty unhealthy way, which is part of the problem. I think if a production asks an actor to lose weight, they should provide resources to do so, since they think it's as easy as just doing it. He told Vanity Fair that, quote, "That was the first time I heard someone say, 'We're not gonna cast you, you're too fat.' So I decided to drop the weight like in wrestling. I couldn't afford a trainer, so it was all running and crash dieting and cutting alcohol." End quote. If you're gonna tell someone to cut down and expect them to do it out of their own pocket when the industry is already expensive to be a part of, I don't know, maybe be a little less harsh about it.
At number 7, we have Stranger Things actor David Harbour. In 2017, he disclosed to The Wrap about how he landed an audition to play the Wolverine's Blob in the then upcoming film. Apparently, a casting director made comments that David was perfect for the quote, big fat character. In response, David recalled jokingly telling the director that the offer was flattering, but the casting director continued by explaining how they needed a big guy to fit into the suit. In a maturity one could not find in me, David proceeded to attend the audition anyway, where he jokingly flashed his stomach to the director with the words, "I've got your blob right here." Ironically enough, following the audition, the director suddenly expressed concerns regarding David's weight at the time. In the director's words, according to David, he said, "David, look, you're wonderful. We really think you're a great actor. We're just really concerned. You lifted up your shirt and we're just a little worried about your health." Still discussing this with The Wrap, David finalized that his response to this was, "Wait a minute, you're telling me I'm too fat to play the blob?"
Number 6. Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale says that when she auditioned for Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor right after giving birth, Mr. Bay told her she'd quote unquote have to work out if she got the part. Kate told the story on the Graham Norton show saying, quote, "I don't think I fit the type of actress Michael Bay had met before. I think he was baffled by me because my boobs weren't bigger than my head and I wasn't blonde. I just had my daughter and had lost weight, but was told that if I got the part I'd have to work out, and I just didn't understand why a 1940s nurse would do that." End quote. Apparently the director then continued to insult her body through the production process of the movie. Kate's right, a 1940s nurse wouldn't do that. A lot of things in that movie aren't accurate, but honestly, have you seen a Michael Bay film?
Number 5. Meghan Trainor. Okay, I think we all remember the controversy surrounding the music video for Meghan Trainor's Me Too. The singer had to deal with body shaming that was not actually coming from fans, but the company that produced her song. So the controversy all started in May of 2016 upon the release of her hit song Me Too, but not long after she learned that they had photoshopped her to make her waist look smaller in post-production. At first, she was confused and she told Good Morning America, quote, "When it was up, I saw my fans posting clips of this dance scene and I was like, why are my fans messing with my waist? And then I looked at my video and I was like, it's my own video." And the crazy thing is that even though Meghan herself was involved in the editing process, they photoshopped her waist down without her knowing. Her reaction was mostly surprised at first because she just wasn't sure how it was done. But she quickly took action. Quote, "I love the director and I love this video and was so proud of this, but I have to call up the head of Vivo and say, take it down, that's not me. I need to fix this now as soon as I can." And she actually really meant it because the video was subsequently removed and a little bit later, the unedited version was then posted.
Number 4. Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling's story is a lot like Amy Schumer's actually. Before The Office, a network offered Mindy Kaling a sketch comedy show based on her own life, which is great. Who better to play a person than that person? So it's a little strange though that this same network made Mindy audition for her own part and then rejected her from the role because she wasn't quote unquote considered attractive or funny enough to play herself. What? She told The Guardian, quote, "That network is no longer on the air and The Office went on to be one of NBC's most hit shows in years. I feel like karmically I was vindicated, but at the time it felt terrible," unquote.
At number 3, we have Mean Girls actress and former behind-the-screen boss lady for SNL. This comedian, writer, producer, and playwright genius made her big break in Hollywood with Saturday Night Live. But her transition from writing for the show behind the scenes to being on screen during filming came with some complications. When Lorne Michaels brought about the decision, Tina was heavily encouraged to lose a minimum of 30 pounds. Reportedly, Hollywood agent Sue Mengers informed Lorne that Tina did not have the look to be on screen. At the time, Tina had no other words to listen to but Sue's, which resulted in her dropping the recommended weight and then some to transform her overall look. Conclusively, Tina eventually became so thin that her friends were growing concerned about whether or not the comedian was starving herself. Nowadays though, Tina has had a completely different and more mature mindset than that of the one before and has molded herself far more comfortably into her current body. Good on Tina for no longer bending to Hollywood's extremely expectant will.
Number 2. Ashley Benson. In 2016, Ashley Benson was told she was quote unquote too fat for a role, to which she responded, quote, "I'm a size 2. I cried for 30 minutes, but then you have to let it just roll off your shoulders or it could cause a serious eating disorder," end quote. She told Ocean Drive, quote, "A lot of people in this industry hear they need to lose weight more times than they should. It does make you stronger though, because if you let that affect you, you can't be in this industry. You'd go crazy." End quote. And that's the hard truth of it, really. Number 1. Margaret Cho. And to end off this list is an example of just why this kind of behavior is dangerous. ABC told Margaret Cho that she was too overweight to play the part of herself in her semi-autobiographical sitcom All-American Girl. Cho ended up hospitalized with kidney failure from not eating. Years later, she told The Cut, quote, "Being called ugly and fat and disgusting to look at from the time I could barely understand what the words meant has scarred me so deep inside that I have learned to hunt, stalk, claim, own, and defend my own loveliness and my image of myself as stunningly gorgeous with a ruthlessness and a defensiveness that I fear for anyone who casually or jokingly questions it." End quote. Period. Exclamation mark.